got to attend a workshop conducted by him. Mark Hunter, who is the international world champion for public speaking, was here in Toronto. Man of Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. I grew up on a heavy dose of watching sports on TV, so I had this nice impression about world champions. They're usually young, with strong muscles, and usually they run onto the stage with a huge belt with a golden logo in the center. I guess I've been watching too much WWE. But at this workshop, when I saw the world champion for the first time, he didn't run onto the stage. He couldn't even walk. He came on a wheelchair. To me, this wheelchair looked big, and there was this little man on this huge wheelchair. But then he started talking. He talked about how at the age of 22, he got into an accident and was confined to his wheelchair for the rest of his life. But then he gave a few tips on public speaking. And then again, he went back to his personal stories. And he ended the workshop with a speech about his personal experience with a mother and her son at a dentist's office in his hometown of Brisbane. Mark Hunter was sitting in a dentist's office, and a woman walks in with her child. And the woman looks at this wheelchair, turns her head away, like most adults who are in this awkward situation and don't know how to react to somebody with a wheelchair react. But then the kid smiled at him. Mark Hunter winked back. The kid smiled again. Then Mark Hunter, with his infinite experience of dealing with kids as a high school teacher, put his tongue out. The kid laughed. The mother laughed. And then the kid asked him, "Hey, mister, do you sleep with that wheelchair?" And Mark Hunter said, "Of course I do. Do you want to try it?" The kid went to the wheelchair, sat on it, and then the mother lifted her head up. They looked at each other, eye to eye, face to face. And then what went on in that mother's heart was what happened within me at the end of the 3-hour session with him. What I was realizing was that when he came into the room and onto that stage, to me the wheelchair was huge, and Mark Hunter was a small person sitting on the huge wheelchair. But as the session progressed, I felt that in my mind, the wheelchair was growing smaller and smaller in size, and Mark Hunter as a person was growing bigger and bigger. And today, when I was preparing my speech, I'd written down all the little tips that I learned from that session on public speaking. Then I tried to figure out what the most important lesson that I learned on that day was. I threw my speech out and decided that what I learned was not about public speaking, but something about me. And what Mark Hunter taught me, or the biggest lesson that he had during the session, was not about public speaking, but about himself and about people in general. I guess Martin Luther King said it best way back in 1963 when he said, "I hope one day my 4 little children will be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the strength of their character." Then I realized that in my heart, that was what I was doing. Slowly, Mark Hunter was coming alive as a person, not as yet another person on that wheelchair. And when I look at do here at Toastmasters, I realized that we do become better people as public speakers, but more important than that, we share our stories, we tell each other what we think, and as we come to know about each other, more than just yet another person in the room, we realize that we are growing as a better person, and in the coming days and months, I hope I'll be able to grow and become a better person. And that, to me, was the biggest lesson from Mark Hunter, the world champion.